Hey kids, you're listening to Nothing in Moderation with Travis and Mike. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on this regularly scheduled dumpster fire.
You can catch us on all the social medias under @NothingInModPod. So let's go ahead and get this hillbilly hog fight underway. Well, how's your White Claw going over there?
Man, this White Claw is delicious.
You know, Mike had a good point when he made the comment that they're only as good as they are cold.
Yeah, oh god, dude, they're disgusting once they're warm.
And it's not anything against White Claw, it's just they're meant to be had cold.
It's like soda. Nobody likes warm soda either. If you like warm soda, you're a fucking psychopath.
Well, it's like warm beer. You kind of have to just deal with it. It's been in the back of the truck all day, but it's the end of the work days, and
you put it
thirsty.
in the fridge.
Yeah.
It's like hot water. Like people that drink hot water, like from your water bottle that's been sitting in the car all day. You ever been in that situation?
Where it just tastes like plastic?
Yeah, basically. Where you're so fucking thirsty you can't stand it, and all you have is a water bottle that's been in your car all day. Fucking 200 degrees.
Well, yeah, and you inevitably you're going to burn the shit out of yourself at some point, not realizing it.
Yeah. Well, it'd
be like that instant sometimes. Lesson.
I like instant lessons.
Welcome back to the podcast, kids. It's Mike and Travis doing the Nothing in Moderationness.
Just hanging out, living the dream.
Living the dream. We want to say thanks to all the to the fans for the interactions that we're getting. We're seeing an increase in all that.
Yeah,
we are still happy to send out stickers. So if you want one, let us know. Whether it's on the Tweeter, the Instagrams, or the Face Space. Yeah, the Tweeter.
It's almost like
we keep getting retweeted by an ostrich.
Yeah. Well,
So
what the fuck? Hang on. Don't hang on. Keep talking. I'm just talking shit. Don't worry about me.
Mike's adjusting his Roman helmet over there.
Yeah, I got it all fucked up.
It's all fucked up.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys are looking for stickers, let us know. We're happy to get them out to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely want pictures of wherever you stick them.
Yeah, if you don't send us pictures, I have your address now, so I will track you down, and I will figure out where you put it and take my own picture.
There you go.
So there's that.
I'm going to start in the panty drawer, he says.
Yes.
Or we'll just mail you some elephant shit.
I will.
There's zoos that do that.
I want to do that. So I have so many shitty bosses I want to send that kind of stuff to.
The little glitter bombs.
The glitter bombs or the bag of gummy dicks.
Oh, eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah. The one of the bosses that I really wanted to send a bag of dicks to got fired finally, so I don't know where to send it to him now. So
I have a shirt that says "Thou shall ingest a satchel of Richards."
That's fucking funny. I like that. That's good shit.
So, yeah, unfortunately, because it's a Wish item, it doesn't fit. It's like a 5X, and it's small enough for like a 12-year-old. But
I would say it's a 5X, and it's built for a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, it's still funny. Yeah. I mean, you can just hang it up somewhere.
Yeah, just
never wear it.
Tell people you got it on a podcast.
So, right, there you go.
We'll post a picture of it just for proof.
I saw, well, I guess I didn't see. I heard listening to another podcast. We kind of got shouted out a little bit.
Yeah, we got a shout out from Tuttle. And I don't if you're local to us, you probably know who Tuttle is. He's been on a lot of the morning radio shows. He was on the Monsters for a bunch of years. He was with Soul Brother Kevin for a while in the evenings. He was with Bubba the Love Sponge for a long time. He's been all around the Central Florida market in radio for the entire time that I've been old enough to even, like listening to radio. Because I feel like radio, you get to a certain age when you start to like radio. Like, but he's got his own podcast. He's kind of off doing his own thing now. He's not with Bubba or anybody anymore, and he's got a daily podcast that he does. And he gave us a shout out on there. We are currently talking to him about doing like a little crossover episode, having him on to kind of chat with us, and so you guys can get to know him. He's a really, really funny guy. He's done a lot of different bits, and he's from being buried alive, quote unquote, which I think I've talked about before. That particular skit to getting shot in the balls with anything you can imagine being shot in the balls with as a human being. So he's done it. He's really done it all. So But he's a pretty good dude. Like I said, I've always really liked him. I've always thought he was a great broadcaster. So, but it was cool.
Yeah,
that
he seems to
shouted us
keep
out.
it. He seems to keep it pretty on topic when he's doing his podcast. It's just him.
Yep.
The episode that I listened to, but he keeps it under like half an hour, so it's not a long-winded adventure or anything. He just seems to be comfortable doing it and talks
Yep.
about whatever the topic of the day is on his mind and goes from there. So
Yeah.
I thought it was really neat for anybody of any significance to have gone out and said anything about us at all.
Absolutely.
So,
No, we definitely really appreciate it. Like I said, we're going to work on getting him on so that we can do like a little crossover episode and get that out for you guys to see, because I'm sure most of our listeners would really enjoy Tuttle. So,
do you have any of his social info is at or podcast name or anything?
The name of his podcast is the Tuttle Daily Podcast, or Tuttle Daily Podcast. No, and you can find him on pretty much all social medias at
And Tuttle is TUDDLE.
And on Twitter, looks like on all social media, he is either at Tuttle, TUDDLE, or at Tuttle on the radio, all one word. But he's available on Spotify and iTunes and pretty much anywhere you can get a podcast. And he's got a website. He's TuttleTV.com. So
Cool.
yep. So definitely make sure you guys are checking him out and supporting him. So we're he's one of the good guys.
So I saw the other day you sent me a picture of what I'm guessing was a hot dog.
It was a hot dog. Yes, it was a vegan hot dog. So I don't want to call it a hot dog. I don't want to offend the non-vegans out there, because they like to get mad when you call non-things things. So
I mean, I feel that way about turkey bacon and bacon. Turkey bacon shouldn't be called bacon, but
it's true.
I mean, hot dog doesn't in itself explicitly say it's meaty.
It's true. But these, I think they're like the Smart Life brand hot dogs. They are. I don't like hot dogs, really. Like, I'm not a big hot dog fan. Like, I will eat them. I don't hate them, but like I don't go out of my way for them. And they're like,
Unless you're at a soccer game.
Yeah. Unless I'm forced to and don't realize that there's chicken tendies at the next concession stand that I'm instead of the one I'm standing at. But there's my wife took those and wrapped them up in an egg roll wrapper that I had bought for one of our chopped weekend meals, and basically made vegan hot dog egg rolls. They were fucking delicious.
It's funny that you call it like a chopped weekend. The wife, when we moved over from carnivore to the veganism for a test run, she said what she kind of missed about eating keto or eating normal, I would say without restrictions, was being able to see what's in the kitchen, grab her ingredients, figure something out, and make a dish.
Yeah.
Whereas when we were carnivore, it was essentially, here's the meat. You know what I mean? So there wasn't really much creative cooking to it. But now that we're going on almost a month for the vegan thing. Let me do the intro. It's time for the vegan update.
Oh yeah, we'll have to record something for that.
But now that we're going on almost a month, we've done a fair number of dishes that I didn't realize I missed. We did like a butter chicken, but instead of chicken, it's tofu or whatever. But she made all of the sauce and spices and stuff herself.
Yeah.
And, she's made taco bowls, and because we're not really going heavy on rice either, we used the rice cauliflower or whatnot. So
gross.
She's really had the opportunity to quote unquote get back in the kitchen and be creative. And it's a lot of fun. And since it is the end of the month, we'll probably do a cheat weekend. I mean, we've done weekends where we quote unquote cheat and just do vegetarian stuff. Like I think I told you we ordered pizza and papitos. Yeah. Cheese is a really hard thing to give up.
It's probably the hardest. I know for Jen it is.
Yeah, and I know that sometimes she still eats cheese, but for the most part, you guys are good. I can tell you that you can order Taco Bell that's vegan compliant. It's essentially just a huge burrito of bean paste. Maybe
they
some
also
potatoes.
have, if you're trying to stick vegetarian, and really without the sauces at Taco Bell, you could make it vegan, but they do the Power Bowls, which is their Mexican rice, their black beans, potatoes. I will get in mine. And I'm doing vegetarian, so I still get all the sauces, because I it doesn't matter to me. But I have one or two a week lately. They're delicious. So it's actually kind of been my go-to. So
The thing that I'm really surprised about is, I mean, we grew up eating pasta. I did, at least. You know, it's a very cheap meal, and you can do a lot with a box of pasta. As far as it'll last a long time when you're poor. And Ashley and I have not been pasta eaters as adults, really. And I didn't realize how much I missed potatoes and some bread. Like, actually, when we get subs or something, you know, pub subs, you know, hashtag whatever it is for everybody in Florida. We're all, about that pub sub life.
Chicky Tendy pub sub. God, I'd fuck up a Chicky Tendy pub sub right now.
I need you to go away because that's what I want all of a sudden. But no, so she's not a big fan because there's too much bread for her. She's not big on how much bread there is. So she'll like hollow it out some. Yeah. So some of the other brands that do subs are her preferred thing because it's about what's in the sub. It's not the bread. Yeah. Whereas Publix just says banging ass bread.
It's the vessel.
Yeah. And like she's a thin crust pizza person.
Yeah.
I'm a deep dish crust person or a stuffed crust person. Yes, I do.
Asshole.
Very much. But
I don't know how we're
ultimate cheese
sometimes.
pizza. Opposites attract.
They do. They do.
I was just thinking of you as my heterosexual life partner.
Well, I you know, honestly, I think we had the conversation at one point when we lived together that if we made it to a certain age and we're not married, that we would become that.
Yeah, for the tax benefits.
Yep. Neither of us made it there, so you know we're both married, but and thankfully so because I love you, but I didn't want to marry you for real. So, but and you know,
I was
my wife's way more beautiful than you are.
She is.
So
my wife is way more beautiful than you, so that's okay.
That's also correct. So you know what she's not more beautiful than? She's not more beautiful than you.
That locked up monster.
That's actually a TikTok thing. That's one of the
is
trending TikTok videos. So, but people usually pan their camera over to their puppy. So
I'll have to send you a very moment TikTok that got sent to me. It's you know, where everybody walks towards the screen in a line and they do a dance. Yeah. The second to last person and the last person are in it together, and the second to last person is the child of the last person. But they're handicapped. So they can't do the dance moves themselves. So the mom does the dance moves, you know, holds their elbows and stuff to do the dance moves. And then when it's time for the kid to exit the stage, she picks the kid up and throws her off screen.
That's funny.
It's like, oh no. And the video just abruptly ends.
It's a TikTok one, right?
It is. And the mom came out and said, hey, listen, she wouldn't hurt. I literally just put her on the couch next to me. But it looks like a violent tossing of a small child.
I've noticed a lot of people that get their different types of handicaps, but they involve their kids. Like I've seen a lot of those videos where like they'll involve their handicapped children in the videos in funny ways like that, where like they'll toss them, or you know, like if they're in a wheelchair, like they'll make them do something ridiculous in the wheelchair, like jump it off of something, or you know, I've seen a couple of those. So it's wild. TikTok's wild, man.
At what point is it exploitation of the handicapped?
I don't know. That's not my business. So.
You're just morally questionable if you're laughing about it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if that's between you and your God, if you laugh at it, I'm not saying whether I did or not. If you do, that's between you and whoever you look up to. So, I may or may not. I most likely did.
So the potato thing.
Yeah, sorry, we got off on a tangent.
No. Yeah, we went off on a good tangent. Yeah. I made the comment about being able to eat a lot of potatoes now, which is nice. I think you sent me the article. It says in Belgium they have such a potato surplus because people aren't going out like we aren't. Yep. And a lot of potatoes are eaten as like a snack food at dinner and at bars as twice fried potatoes. Yeah. They've got like 750,000 pounds of potatoes that are potentially spoiling.
That's insane. I don't know. Like I just see Belgians doing potato angels in piles of unfried potatoes, like just
they're like the Idaho.
Yeah, they're like the Idaho of Europe. So
it's like the opposite of the Irish potato famine.
Well, and I don't think potatoes. Like when I think of Ireland, I would think of potatoes. I don't think potatoes when I think Belgium. When I think of Belgium, I think of waffles. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad I wasn't the only one that was willing to take the easy way out on that joke.
Beer.
Yeah. And chocolate.
They're just this little country.
Bruges. But yeah, no, but on a somewhat serious note, because I was looking today, I'm in the logistics and freight industry, have been for a bunch of years. So I keep up with some of the industry websites and get daily newsletters and stuff like that. And I noticed that there's a lot of farmers that are posting videos to social media of whatever their crop is, of them just having to get rid of it because there's nobody buying it. Like, they can't do anything with it.
Like, there's no storage for it?
Yeah,
because I know that's what they said in Belgium was the issue.
It's going to spoil before, even if there is storage, they only have so much. And in a lot of cases, they're not going to sell it before it spoils.
Can't you just like give it away?
They probably could, but then they still have to get it out of their farm. With most farmers being in rural areas, they still have to transport it out, which costs them money.
Right. There's going to be some
cost to it. And for whatever their reasoning may be, I'm not them. I would think
right.
I would like to say that if I were in their situation, that I would try to use it to do better. And maybe they are. I don't know their particular. So I'm not trying to say that like those people aren't.
What do you mean, those people?
Yeah, the farmers. You know what I mean when I say those farmers. But it's still, even the food banks can only take so much. It's not.
Yeah, and I'm sure they had a crop surplus anyway with the whole tariff war that was going on, and not being able to sell to China, which is going to be probably the largest consumer of their products.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's an interesting time, and it's incredible to me how much you can see the impact of humanity by turning down the volume of humanity on the planet.
Yeah.
And I don't mean losing people, but I just mean like the waterways in Venice
smog
are clearing up, and cities that haven't been able to see a mountain in the distance for 30 years can see it now after 30 days of lockdown. And not to get into one of those controversial topics, but I feel like, all right, we've just seen what a month or 2 or 3 of reduced human activity can do. And you're going to try and tell me, like, it's literal physical evidence that's happened over a short period of time, and you're still going to try and say humans have no impact on the planet.
Yeah. No,
like, that's crazy to me.
Anybody that actually says that, I would probably just mute immediately. Like, I don't.
There's a huge number of people.
Like, you can't. You just, like, I don't know how you can even make the correlation that we don't impact it in a negative way, honestly, overall.
Right. And I mean, you can, if somebody comes and says, I don't care that we impact it, I don't care that we trash it, that's what it's here for. My belief system, regardless of what it is, says it's here for us to use as we see fit, and we'll be raptured before it actually can harm us back. I can at least understand where the thought process is coming from. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I can at least understand they're acknowledging the science that's in front of them, like what's happening in front of their eyes. They're just saying, "No, man, it's cool. God's all right with it. He don't care."
Yeah, that's stupid.
Okay, well, at least you're not saying fuck science.
Yeah.
You're just saying religion's cooler.
Yeah.
But people that don't believe in it that way, they just refuse to believe that humans have any impact in anything, are just mind blowing to me.
It blows my mind. That doesn't, and I guess it, it's weird. On a somewhat related but unrelated note, so I think I've said before, like I've been doing things around the house that I had been putting off, just for, because you can go outside, you can do things. I got better stuff to do. But I went to Lowe's this weekend and got the stuff to do the soffits and the fascia and new gutters on the house, because when we had the roof redone like a year ago, we didn't pay them to do that. I figured I would just do it myself, and never got around to it. But now that I ain't got nothing but time, I got around to it. But I went to Lowe's and we did our order online, because I figured, hey, I'll do it online, minimize the amount of people I have to deal with. I'll just get there first thing, pick it up, get out of there, get back home. Well, they told us the night before that it was ready for pickup. You get there, it's not ready for pickup.
It was, but somebody else picked it up.
No,
so we had to pick it up.
When the guy was looking at it and was trying to find it, like, I walked back with him, and I'm sorry, I realized something I forgot in my order, so I ran back to the gutters to get it, and the kid that had been tasked with picking my order was standing there next to me in front of the gutters picking the shit I needed. Like, as I'm, you know, and they were like, they already tried to tell me it was ready. And I'm like, well, he's standing here picking it right now. It took him like an hour and a half to pick it. I was at Lowe's for like 2 hours. The most ridiculous shit I've ever dealt with.
Did you walk around high-fiving everybody and saying, yay, COVID?
I did not. I stood by the door in the corner, like outside. You know, like they have the little pro area where you can go in and get lumber and shit. So it's the big roll-up door. And I stood just outside the door and out of the way and, you know, tried to avoid people as much as possible. But I bring this up not necessarily for my old man goes to Lowe's story, but my father-in-law, who helps me with a lot of these projects, and you know me, and you know you can, I'm sure, attest to this, that I typically bite off more than I can chew, and don't realize it until it's too late. So
you mean like with a project you
with
undertake?
a project, yeah. Like we had some rot under a window. And it was like, the rot was like the size of a quarter. Well, by the time your boy got done getting rid of this rot, I had a fucking 3/4 of a 12-foot wall opened up that had to have a window replaced in it. So, like, my father-in-law always references that, and I made some remark to him about doing the soffits and stuff like that, and he's like, man, I can't wait till this thing's over so you guys have stuff to do on the weekends other than work on your house. And I was like, man, that's a bullshit. Right. Like, so...
You're the Tim Taylor from Home Improvement. Start a project and then it gets way too deep.
Yeah, pretty much. He's Al, the assistant that's really good at what he does, and I am Tim Taylor. I need the Binford 9000 to do this job when I actually only need a hammer.
Yeah, I'm out here swinging a sledge. It's a finishing nail.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Vaya con Dios, thumb. So,
fuck, have you ever done that? Like smash the piss out of your thumb?
Yeah. So another related story. I think I've told you, and I've talked about on the podcast about demolishing a fireplace hearth.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Did you end up doing your TikTok video with your air chisel?
No, because the air chisel broke. I had to send it back to Amazon. But I bought another, like, I just had like a chisel, and my thumb is like cut up in black and blue from the amount of times that I hit my thumb with the hammer from missing the chisel. I didn't know they sold chisels with hand guards. So now that I bought a chisel with a hand guard, I had the hearth mostly knocked out in like an hour.
I don't understand how you're smashing your thumb. I mean, normally you smash your thumb when you're holding a nail and it's a small target.
The chisel is a small target as well. It's only like maybe a 1/2 inch in diameter, 3/4 of an inch at best.
You're just supposed to choke all the way up to the top to where it's a flat surface.
Yeah.
And smack the fuck out of it.
I'm aware. That's what I do. That's how I hit my knuckle 17 times. So,
jeez.
Yeah. Well, you know.
I mean, I haven't done it with like a 3-pound mini sledge. I mean, I've hit myself in the head with a 3-pound mini sledge because you swing it and it bounces and comes back.
When I was working on the fascia, I dropped my drill off the roof onto my head somehow. Mm-hmm. I don't even know how that worked.
You've been there when we hammered the transmission tunnel on a car, so you're under it, you're slamming around with a hammer. Yeah. You're eventually going to take a bite of it. Mm-hmm. But when I was a kid, my dad's a carpenter, you know, and I went to work with him because that's what you do when you're a kid in the summertime. If you can't go to day camp or whatever it is, hey, free labor. Yeah. So I went with my dad to work one day, and we were nailing down a floor on top of a subfloor. So the house is lifted off the ground. There's a first floor essentially of wood, and then you lay down better plywood on top of it, which eventually gets carpeted or tiled or whatever. So you have to put nails in along the beams every certain number of inches or whatnot. I must have smashed my hand 10 fucking times over the course of the day trying to hold the nail and hit it enough to get it started and then move my hand. I had pushed my nail into my finger and I was bleeding everywhere by the end of the day, and all my dad ever said was, I knew he was hurting, but he wasn't going to give up. Over there bleeding and crying, but he's still trying to swing the hammer.
He was a carpenter as well, but like he just called me lightning most of my childhood because I never struck the same place twice. So.
There you go. Little hammer marks and everything.
Yep, pretty much.
Except the nail.
Except the nail. So.
Did your grandfather ever get mad at you for choking up on the hammer and then cut the bottom of the hammer off for you?
No, I don't remember ever choking up on the hammer.
So when you're trying to get the first couple taps you're getting after you've smashed the shit out of your finger, you want a little more control, so you get a little closer to the hammer head.
I never
thought you try and get
ahead.
the tap. So I did, and you know, Quit doing that. Hold it the right way. Quit doing that. Holding it the right way. Yank it out of your hand, walk over, take the saw, cut the bottom of it off, and hand it back and goes, you're not using the whole fucking thing anyway. We deal with it this way.
That sounds like, see, my grandfather probably wouldn't have wasted a hammer like that. So.
Yeah, well, my hammer.
Oh, that's true. If you had your own hammer. I didn't have my own hammer. So I actually still have the hammer my grandfather had when I was a kid. I still use it. I actually used it this weekend on the hearth. So.
Like an old school wooden handled Stanley?
Yeah, I have an old wooden. He gave me an old fiberglass one too, like one of the original fiberglass ones he bought. That's got like a serious badass metal head on it, and it's a bad little bitch. So.
One of the big waffle headeds.
Yeah. So. Oh man! All right. Well, we definitely old manned it out so far.
My hammers. I put in a story, and I'll go ahead and do Travis's story time.
All right. Let's get into Travis's story time.
When I was a younger man, obviously, because I can't tell you a story about me being older than I am. That's called time travel. Mm-hmm. But when I was a younger man, I finally got this girl that I had an interest in high school to go out with me after we were out of high school. And so we go out on our first date, have a good time, spend several hours together, whatever. Comes time, we schedule a second date. I go over to her house and we're supposed to go to a movie, which is a terrible idea for a first date because you don't even talk to each other. But for the second date, we figured, hey, we'll go see a movie. And I can't remember what it was. But I get to the apartment and her roommate have decided they're going to dye their hair. They're like, hey, we just started. We're going to bleach or highlight or whatever the fuck it is, our hair.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there with two other guys, just hanging out bullshitting, and we're bored. And now it's been like 2 hours and the girls are still doing their hair because apparently that's how long it takes. Mm-hmm. And I go in and check on them, see how everyone's doing and stuff. And I was like, oh, hair bleach. And they've got cats. So I was like, oh, it'll be funny for the cat to have a racing stripe.
Oh, no.
So I take the hair bleach. Always? Oh, I guess I did tell the story about getting bit by my cat.
Fucking with a cat. I think this is your third story about fucking with a cat.
Oh, I only remember two. Anyway, so
sadomasochist.
And I've never had a cat at this point, so I didn't realize cats are going to clean themselves or anything. So I take the hair bleach and I give the cat a racing stripe.
No.
And you can see that the hair is lightening up and stuff. And I was like, all right, I'll wash the cat off after 10 minutes or whatever. Well, the cat disappears. Which I found out the cat went to go clean itself. Well, then the cat starts vomiting everywhere because the cat has licked the hair bleach off of itself and it's now ingested and it's having a really bad time.
What am I going to do with you?
Dude, I felt so bad because I don't ever want to hurt an animal and I didn't know that it would hurt the animal. So the cat, I get told I need to leave, obviously.
Yeah.
And I get told, call me in a week and we'll go out again.
All right.
So it wasn't all bad.
Yeah.
But I then got a phone call later that night. They took the cat to the emergency vet and I was on the hook for $200.
Oh. Well.
And the cat lived.
Well, that's good.
So that's
what
the cat ended up living.
People hanging. And just not telling what happened to the cat. Just leave it very vague.
Nope, the cat lived, and I learned an important lesson. This section could just be called Travis Learns a Lesson.
Yeah, that should actually be the name of the segment, is Lessons Learned.
But I never ended up getting a third date.
Well,
for one.
I mean,
not surprising.
Yeah.
But I had told the story to people, at the time, because this is back in 2001 time frame. Mm-hmm. And I had told the story to a couple buddies and, they're like, oh my God, you killed her cat. So that's what the whole story ended up being, is Travis killed that girl's cat. We went out to Ruby Tuesdays with the car club way back when. And come to find out, the girl I had gone on the date with that had the cat was the waitress.
Nice.
And
did you leave her a $200 tip?
Well, no, I had already paid for all that. And this was several years later, but I looked over at Sheepy. I'm like, hey man, you remember the girl that I killed her cat? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, she's the server.
Nice.
And he's like, and then people who had heard the story started looking, and then, she got all uncomfortable because she realized she was being stared at.
Not because she was working at Ruby Tuesdays. And
no.
I think you guys were a little too young to be at Ruby Tuesdays. I think there's a certain age you have to be at to go to Ruby Tuesdays now.
Yeah, it's not like it's Perkins.
It's true. It's the next step after Perkins.
The Ruby Tuesdays is the place that I went to where I first had Yingling, and they tried to insist that it was an imported beer from China.
It is. It's named Yingling.
They're like, yeah, it's Yingling. See, that's Chinese. And I'm like, well, it says Pottsville, Pennsylvania
on it. That's the most racist thing ever. It's Yingling. What? No, that's not. That doesn't make it shiny. What do you? How did you make it this far in life? Oh, people.
Presumptive white people.
And I hate people so much. Hey, I can say I hate white people on here, and I won't get banned for 3 days.
I'm like the face space.
Yep.
Speaking of Facebook and banning, the group that we're in, somebody made a reference to Heather Brooke or Heather Harmon, the girl who was on iDeepthroat.com or iHeartDeepthroat.com or something. It's old school, like before YouPorn and Xhamster and stuff like that existed. This was like the girl that everybody found on LimeWire, and the dude in the video was very large, and she had big fake cans, and she would make the entire cock disappear, like in her face. It was incredible. It was mind blowing at 18 years old, and all of a sudden they retired. Apparently they had some sort of falling out and they had a kid or whatever, so she focused on taking care of the kid. Well, my brother-in-law tells me that apparently she's coming out of retirement, but then the other people in the group aren't old enough to know who we're talking about. So I type, she's the girl from iDeepthroat.com, and put it on Facebook, and then it pops up with a link to the website.
Oh,
and I'm like, uh-oh, I'm about to get banned from Facebook.
For real. Like, now I'm gonna see how Mike feels.
I even responded to my own comment. I'm like, I'm about to take a Facebook vacation.
Yeah, you're gonna get added to the thread. Oh, well, that's disappointing. You gotta eat those, man. You just gotta man up and eat it. You gotta take your little 3 days.
Yeah.
You can still see everything that's going on.
Instead of putting an actual period, I put the word dot.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
so I unfucked myself before they banned me.
Nice
I was impressed that.
I will promise you, they weren't going to ban you, because there's only 2 ways that bans work. It's either immediate, or it's like 2 years later down the road they find it and flag you. Those are the only 2 ways you get banned.
Yeah, I've been hit with both of those.
Yeah. So my more common recent one is the immediate. Like, you post in immediately you're banned. So
yeah, I think I sent you one of the meme pictures that I have that's really bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, no sooner was it on Facebook that I immediately got flagged and told you broke the rules and take a day off.
Yep. Oh, a day, that's it? That's cute.
Yeah. Well, it said if I did it again, it'd be longer. But
yeah. It gets
so everybody out there,
longer.
go ahead and send us your offensive memes and we'll send you some back.
Please.
We'll
see
who's the more.
I think we asked that last week. We need more offensive memes.
Yeah. I mean, dude, so the thing I have acquired the most of in 2020
is offensive memes,
especially during the lockdown.
Yeah.
I have effectively doubled the number of pictures in my phone from saving memes.
Jesus.
If memes had a currency value, I'd be fucking Scrooge McDuck at this point.
Nice.
Not literally having sex with him, but I would be him.
Yeah.
And I'd be fucking.
All right. Well, I think it would be easier to dive headfirst into a pile of memes than it would be a pile of change. That's always blown my mind. How the Peter Griffin thing really brings it home for you. Why did he do that?
Oh God! It's not a liquid. It's a series of small solids.
Shit always blew my mind. Like, him and his little fucking nephews always just diving in that bitch head first. Like, hey, you can't swim in change.
He can. He's a duck.
I guess so. I guess he can swim in anything. Oh shit. Well, I definitely came prepared this week to completely crush you in our game of treasure or trash.
I told you, unless it's effectively like Madonna or some super huge name that's a musician, I'm not going to have shit for you.
You'll know who it is. I'll probably get through the majority. I found some very vague descriptions for this person, so I'll probably get close to the end before you figure out who it is, but there's a couple dead giveaways at the end. So,
okay.
So if you're ready, this is our treasure or trash segment where we basically, I guess we take a superstar, actor, musician, whoever, list off some of the things they've done, and just talk about whether or not they're treasure or trash. Whether they've had a great career that we've been benefited by, or if they're just useless wastes of space. So this person,
is it Joe Exotic?
No, I still haven't watched that. So I still have not watched Tiger. I won't do it. I'm sorry. I'm not. I
mean, you don't really even. The memes have been so prevalent. You don't even need to watch it. You get it.
Yeah, it's I understand the gist of it. Carol Baskin.
The difference between that bitch Carol Baskin
killed her husband, whacked him.
Did you see that? Did you see that I posted a video Offspring covered one of his songs?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the Offspring did, and dude, the video is perfect. The drummer's in a tiger suit.
Nice.
And the two other guys in the band, they're sitting on stools with face masks on, and between them is a measured out 6 foot, like a giant ruler.
Nice.
So they're going with all the current time stuff. Nice. It was pretty cool. It was good of them. I like the Offspring. We talked about them last week.
They're the hero we deserve. So,
yeah.
All right. So, the person that we're talking about this week for Treasure or Trash had a show on MTV in the 90s, and on that show he interviewed a 6-year-old Elvis impersonator who goes by the name of Bruno Mars now. Yeah. Let that one marinate in your head. Is that one? We're going to come back to that one because when you hear who this is, that gets even more weird.
Okay.
His mom and dad are both comedians. His mom and dad actually opened, and mom, until she passed, ran the Comedy Store. In the big, the mecca of comedy in Los Angeles.
Am I supposed to wait to guess until I know who it is, or am I supposed to guess when I have an
You can
inkling?
do whichever you would prefer.
Do I get more than one guess?
Yeah, you can have as many guesses as you want. We got
okay,
we got all the tape you want. So
all right, man, keep going.
all right, he was mentored in his stand-up career by Sam Kinison, which probably doesn't really give you a lot of hints, but
I mean, if his style is anything like Kennison's, like where he's screaming and stuff,
kind of.
Okay.
He's done a few movies. He voiced a character in a Goofy movie. He also did. He had a contract with Disney for a while, doing 3 movies.
Did he make a filter out of used cigarette butts?
He did
inside of a giant.
He did
biodome type item.
Yep. Didn't even get there. That's actually where this one ends. So you want to guess who it is, or tell everybody who it is?
I would assume it's the Weasel, a.k.a. Pauly Shore.
It is Pauly Shore the Weasel. The most fascinating thing for me is, and I guess it shouldn't be fascinating because people are shitty in this way, but people still only know him from that, and that's all they want him to do or talk about, no matter what else he's done. Like, they want that character every time. And I
just assumed that character was a reflection of his actual personality. Like, a lot of people just play themselves effectively.
No, not even close. That was Kinison actually helped him from the articles I read. Kinison helped him develop the Weasel character, or that persona.
Just that goofy surfer stoner type of.
Yep.
He used to host like MTV Spring Break.
Yep. Well, the show on MTV,
and he was part of,
Bruno Mars is a 6-year-old Elvis impersonator getting interviewed by Pauly Shore. What kind of a world do we live in?
In hindsight, that's weird.
That is very weird. I was like, what the hell? So,
but he was still the same goofy Weasel character doing the interviews and stuff. Like, that's his stage presence, essentially.
That's exactly. But he's done some interviews with Rogan, and he did the local guys, Tom and Dan. When he was doing a thing at the Improv, they had him in. They've had him in a couple of times, and he's not that persona is not him, and he actually tries as far as he can to get away from it, But with most celebrities,
I guess you'd kind of get pigeonholed into specific roles. If
Absolutely.
Keanu Reeves is kind of the same way. Everyone saw him as the Bill and Ted, or just the whoa.
Yeah.
Always bland.
Screech is that same way. Screech is always going to be Screech no matter what Screech does. So,
and he tries really hard to be edgy.
Too hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I actually almost did him for Trash or Treasure. I ended up on Pauly Shore, but I almost did Screech.
You didn't want to do Dustin Diamond?
No. Because you know what it was? There was a time, because Dustin Diamond's done. I seen some podcasts he's done. But he actually did some time in jail and violated his probation on a charge for stabbing a man, or allegedly stabbing a man, quote unquote, which I thought was kind of cool. It's kind of a badass thing for a Screech to do. So,
yeah, especially when Slater didn't have his back anymore.
Yeah, for real. Goddamn dogs! Shut that goddamn dog up! I'll have to cut that whole part out.
So the Pauly Shore thing, he's been in a bunch of movies where he played the same kind of character. He was in Encino Man. He played a character for the Goofy movie. He was in Biodome. He did the Rock and Jock stuff on MTV for a while.
A lot of the Rock and Jock
He was
stuff,
just a personality on MTV.
Yep.
You said he had his own talk show or interview type show
on MTV. I gotta find the name of it. I should have wrote that down, but I'm a lazy asshole and I didn't.
I feel like he's been in a lot more movies, and Son-in-Law with the Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Yep, he was in Son-in-Law. He's been in Encino Man, and In the Army Now was one of the other ones I wrote down.
Oh yeah, that's like a goofy G.I. Joe.
Encino Man, Son-in-Law, and In the Army Now were the three deals or the three movies he was required to do under his Disney contract. So,
but then he also did the Goofy movie where
that was additional. Yeah, it was because I guess the three movies were under like a company that Disney bought, so it wasn't directly Disney at the time.
Okay.
So
it is kind of
Totally
fun that
Pauly was the name of his show.
Okay, it's fun that he was the child of comedians, and then grew up in a comedian world, and obviously had access to probably the best comedians to have walked the stage.
Absolutely. So
So is there anything from his recent life that you picked up or notated? I mean, like any drama that he's been in?
No, I couldn't find any drama. I was actually hoping to find some drama because I figured it's Pauly Shore. Like he's got to have done something ridiculous, and he, I couldn't really find anything.
Good for him.
Yeah, for real. I mean, he's got he's been in some recent like TV shows and stuff, but he's for the most part, I guess he's just been kind of doing a stand up thing and tour and to keep himself busy.
Yeah, he definitely does not. I'm looking at him now. He's about 15 years older than we are.
Yeah.
So that makes him 52 for anybody who doesn't know how old we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything popping up here about him,
I
having rape allegation charges or
I couldn't find anything.
Embezzlement or
I wonder if his movie career was strong enough to net him treasure. But I guess that's kind of where I was at, where I'm kind of torn.
Well, I mean, he didn't do himself any favors by hanging out with Limp Bizkit and being in the music video and Together Now.
Mm-mm. No, definitely not. But he's got, I don't know, like man, I'm just kind of
Jury Duty.
Yeah, I mean, Jury Duty was all right. I mean, obviously
he was in a movie. He's in the Playboy movie, The Best of Jenny McCarthy.
Oh God.
Hey, he gets points there from me. I like him. I like her. Oh, he was in Futurama.
Was he?
I forgot he played himself. He played his own head.
Oh, okay. Looks like he made some guest appearances in Entourage.
So this shows his most recent stuff is in 2020. He was in the show The Midnight Gospel,
which I
don't know if you've seen that.
I have not.
So it's a Netflix series.
Okay.
And it's from the guys who made Adventure Time, or the people who made Adventure Time.
Okay.
But it is clearly a hallucinogenics based show.
It's got Phil.
Like Ashley and I watched it. We watched like the first 2 episodes, and she's like, I am not nearly drugged up enough to sit through another one of these episodes.
It's Phil Hendry is in it. Do you know who Phil Hendry is?
Not off the top of my head.
Phil Hendry is a radio guy from the West Coast, and he's been in radio for absolutely as long as I can remember. His show was a one-man show, and he basically voiced every character on the show. And he would say outlandish things, like it would be like a HO.
Oh, is he the guy who would quote unquote call into his own show, and someone was complaining about the deer crossing being at the busiest part of the road?
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, and it was, but the character, everybody, like the people that were calling in were live callers that in a lot of cases didn't realize that it was all satire and that he was doing all of the voices for all of the characters.
Okay. Is this the one where he called into his own, or he had an argument on his own show about how fast a car is, and by freshly washing it, it's even faster, and ain't no cop gonna catch him with 305 wheel horsepower.
Sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds a lot like Phil Hendry. I actually, for the longest time, I listened to his show for 3 or 4 months because he used to be like on weekends on Real Radio. They would play like rebroadcasts of his stuff. And the first month or so that I'd listened to that shit, like I didn't realize what was going on. Like I was angry as shit listening to that stuff sometimes. Like he is really good at what he does. But
That's
he's in a
awesome.
lot of cartoons now. I've noticed he voices a lot of characters. He voices not the principal. The damn it in Rick and Morty.
Okay. The teacher?
The teacher, yeah. Yep.
The weird teacher that, like the one who started the religion when the head showed up?
Yes, that's Phil Hendry. He voices that. Goddamn dog.
Okay.
Oh.
So he's kind of like a Billy West.
Yeah, he's a.
I don't know if you know who that is.
I don't. He's a voice actor. Overall, like he's got stuff in Futurama, F is for Family. Have you watched F is for Family, by the way?
The Bill Burr show
on Netflix.
I've watched like the first season.
Fucking hysterical. Get caught up. It's awesome.
Okay. I mean, with the quarantine, we got lots of time to do stuff.
Yeah, you're right. So,
speaking of the coronavirus, you see that Governor DeSantis for the state of Florida met with President Trump, and Wednesday, the 29th of April, they're supposed to be announcing what the plan is for the slow reopening or the complete reopening of Florida. They were talking about the 1st of May being the day that things may potentially be available. I know they reopened parks and stuff like that, or they're going to. And
y'all go check it out. Y'all be the guinea pigs.
That's racist.
I'll come out on the 1st of June. Let me know how it is.
Yeah, I mean, if we can hold up and it's not impacting our lives, and we can still work from home and shit, why not?
I've told my employer on multiple occasions, actually every chance that I've gotten to tell my employer how interested I am in continuing to work from home after all this is over. So,
I mean, so long as you're being productive, what the fuck's it matter?
I am leaps and bounds more productive. So,
I feel bad for the old lady. She works at a school, like a secondary education, private college, and they do a lot of, because it's a medical program, they have to place students out in the field and stuff, but a lot of medical facilities aren't taking on students to do their field training because they're trying to staff down.
Yeah.
So like she's got a whole slew of students that are going to be delayed graduating, and she can't even really
do anything to
like unfuck it.
Yeah. It's not a
she's
scenario
just
she can fix.
A bunch of online study stuff.
Yeah, that sucks. So
yeah,
I mean, listen, I'm all for things getting back to normal and us, moving on and getting back to how things were as best we can, because nothing's going to be the same. Nothing is going to go back to how it was exactly before this. There's too many things that have changed, too many things that have been seen and realized that weren't believed to be true or weren't known to be possible before all of this.
Right.
But I'm ready to get back. But at the same time, there's not a whole lot going on out there that is worth potentially my life. So,
well, and we have the luxury of not having been laid off and not having our daily routines impacted much, other than, we have to exercise in our own yards, or, if we wanted to go somewhere, we can, we're not particularly outbound people, but
yeah.
Have you and the wife had the conversation about where's the first place you want to go when there's availability?
No.
We're food motivated people. So that's one of the conversations we've had is, where's the first place we want to eat once everything is safe to go out again, or once everything's open and the crowds are gone, or whatever it is.
The conversation the wife and I've had more frequently is a conversation of like why we spent as much time outside the house previous to this as we did. Like,
right.
So, I'm sued. Like I'm not lying, man. Like I did not realize how built for this I am. So like listen.
Well, and it definitely doesn't hurt that you and the wife have a good relationship and you're not sick of each other. I was reading the statistics about the big spike in domestic violence cases because, you spend 8 hours a day apart. You spend 6 to 8 hours a day sleeping.
Yeah.
You probably drive to and from places. So, the amount of time you actually spend with your spouse is a lot smaller than you realize. But now if you're both stuck at home and you're spending 24 hours a day together, people are losing their shit and realizing they don't like somebody as much as they thought they did.
We actually had that conversation the other day. Like the two things that are going to spike after this is childbirths and divorces. Luckily, we're not going to have either of those things over here. But
what if you end up with both?
Oh no,
not you guys, but in general, someone ends up with both.
God, that would be terrible. But one of the other things that I think is ridiculous / funny that we were talking about is that like the millennials are going to get to, in theory, call two different generations of people boomers, because these pandemic people are going to be the next generation of baby boomers. And because we're right there in the middle, we will have been able to call our parents boomers and say okay boomer to the kids coming up that are like, that are pandemic kids. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm really just over here hoping, with my fingers crossed, that I get to call two different generations of people okay, tell them okay boomer.
What'll be funny too is that the first generation of boomers will be gone by the time the second generation is old enough to understand what you're saying.
Yep, that's my goal here. So that's what that's my fingers crossed. That's what I'm hoping for. So, fucking 10-4 dinosaur. Let's go.
10-4 dinosaur. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yep.
All right, man.
Let's get.
I think I'm about ready to go take a handful of Benadryl and some tequila.
All right.
So
that's going to be bad.
Go ahead
times.
And give him the spiel on the social medias and the stickers.
We definitely appreciate you guys listening. Hit us up on all of the social medias at Nothing in Mod Pod, and we will get you out a sticker. Check us out on our website. Shoot us an email. We are nothinginmoderationpod@gmail.com. Shoot us an email there for a sticker, wherever you got to. Just get a hold of us. Let us know. We'll be interacting with you guys on social media. We thank you guys for listening. Make sure you like, rate, review, subscribe, do all those good things. So all that stuff helps us. We really appreciate it.
Yep. And if you guys have any ideas on stuff you'd like to hear our opinions on, or us talk about, or just different shit that we should try, whether it's food or alcohol, because we are all locked indoors. Those are the simple pleasures that we are allowed to
pretty much
to enjoy at the moment. We always love hearing from people. I mean, I have a few people that every week they write me and they're like, hey man, this and that and blah blah blah, and this was good, and hey, your mic levels were this, or here's what I saw. And we always appreciate the creative criticism. We don't get offended.
Nope.
But if you want to try,
I do initially, but I usually take a few seconds to get calm before I reply.
Oh, see, the only person I think is yelling at me is you.
Yeah.
You'll text me and you're like, we need to do this. And I'd read it in a serious, demanding voice. And I'm like, he's probably not doing that.
No, I'm definitely not doing that. So, I mean, maybe I am, but you'll never know. And I'm never going to tell you the truth.
Goddamn text doesn't have inflection.
It doesn't. It needs to. We'll have to figure that out. I'm going to invent text inflection. Got to come up with a name for the text flexion. It sounds like
that's a terrible name.
That's what I was say. It sounds like a UFC clothing company.
Oh, did you decide that Pauly Shore was trash or treasure?
Pauly Shore is a treasure, in my opinion. I don't know where we would be in this world without Biodome and Encino Man.
I don't. I mean, if he's one or the other, he's definitely treasure.
Yeah.
The character that he plays, I could not tolerate in real life.
No?
I'd want to strangle.
Oh man, no. I could hang out with the Weasel all day.
Nah, I can only make it through one movie. I can't sit through his movies. No, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
No.
But no, I'm sure he's actually a pretty cool dude.
Probably. Yeah.
So I'd say if he's one or the other, he's definitely treasure over trash.
Yep. All right, well, that's two treasures in a row. We got to figure out a trash. We can't just have this be treasure or treasure.
No, I can get you next week. Don't you worry.
All right. Well, let's work on that. All right, buddy. We'll catch you up next week. All
right, kids, be safe out there.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Stop it.
See ya. Hey, kids, you've reached the end of the podcast. That's it. There's nothing more here. Just dead air and this closing statement. We appreciate your diligence, though. Now go back about your day and come back for the next show. Or listen again. In fact, that sounds like a better plan. Grab another show. That's what I'm doing right now. Whoever listens the most wins. You don't really win anything, really. Just the memories of better times, which is winning in my book. All right, well, this is the actual end. Hand banana.